Freaky ass. He a 69 guard. 69 guard. Pause it. Put a pause for the call. What it do, everyday people, man? Are y'all in this thing with me? Or y'all in this thing with me? That's all I want to know. We got a lot. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, dog. Hey, people, man. Hey, y'all. Oh, snap.
A lot of questions.
We got a lot to talk about. It'll be like, P-Diddy, are you with me? Oh, yeah, we got baby Yoy. We ain't going nowhere. Okay, man, P-Diddy has been sentenced to 50 months in prison. Shout out to my girl, Joker TV, man. She up in this thing. One of many of my loving mods. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do something good for Christmas for my mods, cause shit, they ass be working overtime. They be like, shit, PJ going live again. Damn. Yeah, we playing. But I'm gonna tell y'all what happened last night. So what happened last night is I had to go to a domino tournament. I lost I didn't win the domino tournament, but I did have a good time, and I made some good connections. I made some good connections. I always rock with the people, and the people rock with me. Another thing is, Oklahoma Sooners played today, and they played very well. They only played the worst team in the FBS. Oklahoma State got. Who's your football team? Who was your football team? College or NFL? While we wait for everybody to pull up, finesse 2 times. But what happened to finesse 2 times? Don't really matter. Don't nobody worry about finesse 2 times. Anyway, let's get to it. I don't know if we have much political stuff to talk about, but I guess we can touch on some stuff later. But what we really want to do is talk about this P. Diddy stuff. And if you call, you can call in tonight. Tonight, I will drop the link to the phone number. I dropped the phone number so you can call in and tell us your opinion of Diddy's sentencing. Like, was it too harsh? Was it too soft? Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? Do you think, rich people, whatever's on your mind, please limit it to 2 minutes. But we're gonna get to a little bit, and then 30 minutes in, I'm gonna start taking calls, okay? So we can get calls in, okay? And please misspell cuss words in the chat, you freaky ass people, okay? Y'all can get as nasty as y'all want. But tonight, this is P. Diddy right now.
This is Crazy Caroline.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I can't. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I can't. I'm fighting.
R. Kelly is in an uproar because P. Diddy only got 4 years. R. Kelly didn't beat nobody. He didn't beat nobody, and R. Kelly got 25 years. And P. Diddy only got 4. And we seen on camera that man, what is going on? R. Kelly is probably calling his lawyer right now. Bro, why did you give me 4 years? Are you serious? That's crazy. Is it crazy? I don't know. I want to say it's crazy, but then, like, I don't, to the extent of R. Kelly, like, we seen it on video. Like, I don't know if y'all remember the VHS tape that you could buy out of barbershops back in the day, the R. Kelly sex tape. Y'all remember that? Him, and it's crazy because everybody that bought that, you were buying child pornography. Is just to know we did that. I didn't do it, but just to know that we did that, everybody bought child pornography to see that. Some of y'all need to go to jail for buying that sex tape. Everybody who bought the R. Kelly sex tape should go to jail. That's child pornography. But anyway, that it wouldn't fly today. But back in 1999, 2000, 2001 or 2002, yeah, it was flying. It was flying off the shelves. That was the most sold child pornography in the hood. But like I said, it wasn't right. But Diddy only got 4 years. You hear me, Joker? She said she saw it for free and she's still ashamed. I'm telling you, like, now thinking back, like, oh, that wasn't right. But back then it was like everybody had to see what was going on. And everybody bought, people were, it was dudes going around selling this tape as, like, what? That's crazy. I think anybody who sold that tape would have been locked up today because of what that really was. That was what it was. So it's crazy to think about that. Y'all got to think about that for a second. Let's get to the next video.
A judge has just sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months in federal prison, and it's likely that he's going to get time served, which would mean that that's 50 months minus 13. So he will serve perhaps like a little over 3 years in prison, and again, he gets a little bit of time off for good behavior. Combs seemed unemotional when the judge decided his sentence. It was a really emotional day. Combs was crying as his children were up there speaking before the judge. 6 of his children spoke, telling the judge what their father means to them and how they really just want their father home. And his twin daughters talking about the death of Kim Porter, their mother, and saying that they've already lost a mother and now they've lost this father. The judge also directly addressing Sean Combs. He said, I know you feel like you're in a dark place, that your children depended on you, but he said to him directly, you are going to get through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and he said that you have an opportunity to right your wrongs and a true path to redemption. A judge has just sentenced Combs.
What do you think about the judge's words to P-Diddy? Like, you know, you can right your wrongs, bro. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what, man. Once you have that on your record, you can't right them wrongs. What you can do, the best thing you can do is change behavior. I'm gonna let y'all know, I went to jail for some outrageous stuff. But what I'm saying is, change behavior changes all the narratives. And people will be like, well, maybe it was change behavior, P. Diddy. Change behavior. Don't you gotta get control of your sex addiction. You gotta get control of your life. Continue to make the great hits. I don't know I would work with you. If I was a rapper or singer, I would work with you because you P. Diddy. But I don't think that, like, your name is tarnished, but once you get out of jail, nobody will care. Keep making them hits. You can change. You've changed your name 1,000 times. It was Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Brother Love. Who knows what it's gonna be next?
You already know. I gotta get your take on it, man. Diddy, he got 50 months in prison. How you feeling about it, man?
Well, since this is going to be my last Art of a Dialogue interview, and the Diddy trial and the Diddy saga is over, like the Gene Deal story ain't bigger as the Diddy trial or the Diddy story. Man, I feel good, man. I feel good way before the sentencing, and I'm gonna feel good way after it. You know what I'm saying? That the
Hey, shout out to my boy Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. If y'all don't follow him on YouTube, he covered this whole trial. He covered all Gene Deal and Gene Deal's bad niece. My boy was the one who broke the news that Gene Deal had bad knees. And Gene Deal was the worst security guard ever because he couldn't fight nobody. But Gene Deal was actually around when P-Diddy slapped his mama. And P-Diddy said, I need to get home to take care of my mama. P-Diddy slapped his mama, folks. He slapped his mama. Do y'all understand the scope of what I'm saying? P-Diddy slapped his mama. And Gene Deal did not whoop him because he had bad knees.
sentencing don't have anything to do with how I feel. It just goes me to show that tells me when God puts you in a position and puts you in a place to be involved in something, his word ain't never wrong. It is exactly what I said on my show. I said, Diddy gonna end up doing 24 months in prison. The judge gave him 50 months, but you gotta realize he already had 14 months in it, practically. And he's going to get credit for 2 months of that 14 months. That give him 16 months. He's gonna do 24 months, which is gonna give him about 30 months because he only had to do 85% in the feds. And he goes to probably a halfway house. So he got off like a fat rat in a cheese factory. But for a dude like Diddy going to jail and spending all that time, I'm not saying it's going to be rough or nothing like that because his former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burrows, with the federal jail. You understand? Lil' Kim with the federal jail. So, because the type of dude he is, he'll make it. He'll be all right. And plus, they're going to send him to a camp, bruh. He'll be in somebody camp or somebody dormitory, whereas that it'll be real light for him. So, he'll see the streets back again in 24 months. He'll be out.
Bro, I got fam in the federal penitentiary. One just got out earlier this year, and I still got one more in there. Man, the feds ain't that bad. They got cell phones, they got all type of shit. Like P Diddy about to make off like a fat rat, like he said. P Diddy ain't finna struggle. But do you think his sentence was too light?
Within 2 years. It seems like a lot saying 50 months and everything like that, but it's not really a lot. Not at all, bro. It's not a lot at all. You know what I'm saying? I know for executive, somebody who's been a jet setter, somebody who's been going all around the world, been in all kind of, stadiums, galas, and living in mansions. It's a lot of people who lived in mansions that's in federal jail. You got Senator Melendez from Jersey in jail. You got a lot of them in jail doing way more time than him. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be all right, man. I think that, he got off like a fat rat in a cheese factory, bro. You know what I'm saying? He got off. Based on how the judge started the whole sentence, he was talking about coercion. He was talking about relevant conduct. He even said that with Diddy conduct and what he was doing, he should get a sizable sentence or something like that. Like his sentences should be a large sentence. And I think that, 50 months, I don't see that as being large. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a third. I think the third of the guidelines where the probation report said. I think the probation report started at 72 months. So it's almost, what was it? That's like 72 months, 50 months, close to Not even a third. It's a little over.
I don't have nothing for math, but butterfly in the sky, he don't know how to do math, bro. That's like 22 months, goof-ass. Goof-ass, he a 69 God.
Quickly, go back, though. Go back to that piece about he's high profile, so he won't get a camp. Why wouldn't he? I thought in a camp, nobody's going to shank him because, again, they want out.
You know, the overriding factor there, I believe, is he's a guy with a lot of money. And I'll tell you, this happened to me when I went in there because of the profile I had, because of the way they wrote me up. You know, I had everybody and their brother inmate trying to do a deal with me when I got out, you know, a business deal. They need money. You know, because of the fact that he's a money guy, I think he's going to have more friends than he will enemies. And in a medium security, normally nobody's looking to shank you. When you get into the higher institutions, when people are doing, you know, a ton of time and there's no way you can benefit them, then you got a little more problem. But in a medium security, I don't think he'll have an issue at all. I really don't. He can be too much of a benefit to inmates that are always looking for something. And he could be a golden ticket for some people, at least in their mind.
Michael Francis is a crown. He's an Italian mafia guy, and he has a lot of credibility. And I don't remember if he snitched, but he had a gas scam that he went and did federal prison time for. But I'm gonna tell you what, P-Diddy will not serve any hard time. He's gonna go to a camp, and in these camps, you can walk around freely. You can do whatever you want. You can have conjugal visits. Like, it's gonna be baby oil and everything in these conjugal visits. But nah, he better stay away from the baby oil. But I'm telling you, he's gonna do all right. But I think, is the sentence too easy, or was it harsh enough? Was it too much? Is 50 months enough?
Tell me why we're in New York trying to get in the courthouse, right? And we're waiting in line, and Diddy's children come walking in to get in. Quincy Brown notices my mom's glasses and snatches them off of her face, like just mid-stride. He stops walking into the courthouse and snatches them. And then try to break my glasses. Why not just tell the security guard that I'm recording or whatever? That would have been better. Why would you just come and snatch that? Yeah. Why would you just come snatch that off my face like that? I mean, that's wrong. What would y'all would have did? Tell me in the comments, what would y'all do in this situation if it was y'all? Because to me, that I just think it's messed up. And I have some footage. I have the footage of him walking up towards me, and then I have a still shot of him when he had my glasses in his hand, and it captured a picture of him with it in his hand. So tell me what y'all would have done. I'm going to attach the video at the end. So, I mean, he done messed up my whole time. You know, like, that's what people are here for. They hear the video of them and to see Diddy and to see what's going on. And for you to do that, man, that just really done broke my spirit.
Hold on. Look what you got.
Put your phone on.
Ma'am, you shouldn't have been. Yeah, of course, you can't be recording in there. Like, or maybe you can't. I don't know. But she got the meta glasses. Like, everybody's recording you, bro. Just don't even touch nobody. Just. I don't know. I don't see nothing wrong with him snatching her glasses. Like, girl, get a life. Go do something. Go do something safer. Okay, than trying to catch him outside like everybody else did.
So there's still a lot of questions surrounding why Diddy was only sentenced to 4 years in prison. Well, I want to break it down a little bit. That way you guys can kind of understand exactly what happened during this court hearing today for Diddy's sentencing. And before this even happened, Diddy has put this judge on notice that he is going to file an appeal. So just know that is coming. But I will say usually appeals are unsuccessful. And what the judge did kind of seals that in. I was talking about this for the past couple of days that I felt like Diddy's sentencing from the judge was going to fall in the guidelines of the probation department. And their findings were 70 to 87 months in prison, and the judge still went a little bit lower than that. And the reasons why the judges usually side with the probation department is because they're a neutral party. So you have the prosecution that usually asks for too much time based on the guideline ranges, and then you have the defendants asking for too little time based on what they're being charged with. Diddy's 2 charges under the Mann Act really don't carry that significant of time. But the judge and even the probation department agreed that they believe that Diddy should have enhancement added to make it a longer sentence. And that was because all of the violence that was shown in the trial. And Diddy kept trying to argue, well, this is acquitted conduct, but not necessarily was that acquitted conduct, because like a lot of you guys were yelling through the whole trial, Diddy was never charged with domestic violence. So the judge determined a more strict sentencing on Diddy, where he gave him 50 months based on the violence that was shown throughout this trial. If it wasn't for that, Diddy wouldn't have even got that much time. If you also note, he stayed consistent with the probation department's findings and even a little bit under. That way, in case Diddy appeals it, it's not going to go anywhere. The judge technically can do what he wants, but at the same time, he can't just come out swinging like, yes, I'm going to give him 11 years like what the prosecution is wanting if it's going to turn around and be appealed, because then he could risk getting in trouble himself. So the sentence of 50 months that the judge just gave Diddy, yes, was way more than what the normal charges would carry. But also, he made sure he stayed in a line. That way, when Diddy appeals, like I said, he's put him on notice that he is going to, it's not going to cause an issue, and Diddy's pretty much stuck with this sentence. Other big question that I see people asking me, well, how much time will Diddy sit if he was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months? I'm about to break it all down. Diddy first went to jail September 16th of 2024, which means he's been in there for a year and a couple weeks. So if you subtract that time from 4 years and 2 months, that equals about 3 years and let's just say a month. But in federal prison, you have to serve about 85% of your time and you could get good time credits. Which means at the end, Diddy is looking at a little over 2.5 years that he would have to sit even if he's granted good time. And let me say once again, that's if he is granted good time. You don't have generalized backgrounds of what's actually happening when these sentencings occur. It might feel like Diddy is getting off. Y'all know that he was found not guilty of some of the most serious charges. Honestly, this sentence that he handed down to Diddy is not good for Diddy, and it definitely represented the victims that were hurt because of Diddy. I know a lot of people are like, well, he could have got 11 years, but you have to understand the prosecution will push it out as far as possible, the same way Diddy was like, I'm gonna get out today. What the judge did was actually hold Diddy accountable for what he did to these women, because usually 2 Mann Act charges do not carry that amount of time. And he only came up with this much of a sentence because all of the violence that was shown throughout this trial. So technically, Diddy got more time than what somebody would if they got charged with the Mann Act convictions.
Bro, her voice is annoying, but we're going to go to the next one. We're finna do call-ins. Get ready.
Justin, how do you feel? Quincy, how do you guys feel?
Yo, Quincy, what's up?
He's coming home. He's coming home, guys.
Quincy ain't even his son. That's Al B. Sure's son, but that shows you what kind of guy P. Diddy was, you know, at one point in time, that he took on this man's son, embraced him as his own. Y'all got to think about that for a second. Now, P. Diddy, he may be a freaky ass ninja, but he is still human. So, but think about this before y'all call in. Think about what you want to say about P. Diddy. And keep your calls under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes.
Uncle Andy in the Bronx. Mitch. How you doing, ladies? How you doing? You guys have a good day now. Don't rush it, Mama Combs. Don't rush it. It's a little slippery right there. All right. How you doing today? All right.
Yo, this is the nastiest OJ trial of the century. This is really I don't. Is this about the? Is this like compared to the OJ trial? P Diddy? I don't think so.
What was striking when the sentence was finally read is how still Sean Combs was. He just sat there, his hands clasped, looking down, and it was such a contrast to earlier because I would say it was such an emotional day in that courtroom. When Sean Combs' kids spoke in court today, they were all crying. His lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, was crying. Sean Combs got up there and said his own words, and his voice was really shaking. He was very emotional as he told the judge how this had affected his life, how he felt like a changed man. And even when the judge read this sentence, he began by praising Sean Combs, by talking about the work that he's done, the barriers that he's broken, how impressive it is, even at a young age, having lost his father, all that he overcome. But he said that all of that could not wash away the record of this case, the evidence that we saw in that courtroom. He also pointed to the fact that some of this aggravating behavior, the violence, took place even after Combs already knew that he was being investigated.
Hey, hit that like button. Y'all in here, hit the like button.
And after that Intercontinental video that we've seen so many times, Sean Combs posted this apology on Instagram. The judge said saying a lot of what he said in the courtroom today, and yet even after that, he beat one of the women who testified in this trial. So the judge was just not convinced that his behavior had changed, and he said that this had to be done for deterrence. And Sean Combs just really sat there looking defeated. He told us in court today that he was broken. He looked absolutely distraught when his kids were speaking earlier. He was crying. He was wiping his face with a tissue. And you can see really how all of this has affected him. And now he is going to have to deal with this incarceration.
Bruh, everybody be sad when they get sentenced. Like, this ain't nothing new. Like, man, people cry. Oh, if you guys do 30 days in jail, you're going to cry. You know, you really, man, the trauma that a lot of people endured during P. Diddy's reign of terror, as we would call it, reign of terror. But I don't know. Because, one, I'm kind of conflicted. He was just a freaky person. And I think a lot of the people was involved in this situation, they were willing participants. The only thing that makes this bad is that these people had something over P. Diddy, which was the freakiness, and if they told anybody about what was going on, they faced severe consequences. And that's like if we can compare it to a situation, is like when you mess with somebody with the same sex and somebody tells and you go and harm that person. That's the same thing. You're not supposed to do it. You gotta own what you do, right? But somebody feels the need that they got to tell everybody business. Y'all want to go out and tell everybody business? Did it? And I also think that this was also brought upon him. People, we can say conspiracies with Diddy. Diddy was wanting to buy the alcohol. I don't think that was the major thing. I think that was a minor thing in this whole thing. But Diddy, everything started to come down on Diddy when that videotape came out. When that videotape came out, boy, people was like, now, and not only that, he said the day before that video came out, he said, I never did this. I'm a this type of person. I'm brother love. I'm this, I'm that. That video came out, we was like, brother, shit, you gonna have to sit this one out. You need to just shut the hell up right now. because what you doing is make you digging yourself a deeper hole. Now, had he came out and said, you know, I got an addiction, I'm a violent person, I've had a crazy past, and I need help. All he had to say was he needed help. If he said he needed help, he had an addiction, he could use mental health as a thing, but he didn't. He lied to us in our face. And then that video came out with him dragging Cassie across the hotel, and everybody lost faith in him right then. It was just like, Diddy, you need help. You won't. People be like, this is what happens. People do shit, and then when you confront it with the problem, you don't want to face the fact that you're the problem. And that's what happened to Diddy. He didn't want to face the fact that he was the problem. And until it hit him in his face, and it was with the video in the hotel, and he had to look at himself and be like, damn, I really messed up. And everybody else was like, damn, you lied to us yesterday. So a lot of people lost the sympathy for him. And that is why the sentencing had to happen like it happened. You know? If the video showed everything.
Okay, guys, so P. Diddy received a 50-month sentence in federal prison. Now, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of how this is going to work for him. Now, 50 months, the way the feds work, you get credit for about 56 to 57 days a year in good time. So he'll be eligible for about 8 to 8.5 months of good time off of that 50-month sentence, which leaves him with about 42 months to do. Now, he's already got about 12 months in with his time he spent in MDC Brooklyn. So I guess it worked out for him that he didn't get bail. Now, in a sense, it would have been better for him probably to get bail, because he would have spent the majority of his time in a better facility than the one he is now. Had he been out on bail after his sentencing, he would have been going immediately into federal custody, and then he would have been going into a federal detention center like MDC Brooklyn while he awaited designation, which usually only takes about, anywhere from 15 to 30 days. So then he would have spent all of his time in a federal prison opposed to in MDC Brooklyn, where he is presently housed, which I can guarantee you is way worse than any place he is about to go. So let's get back to the numbers and the breakdown. So after the 50-month sentence, you take off the 8 to 8.5 months worth of good time that he will be eligible for. He has to still earn that by staying out of trouble, not getting any fights, not getting any infractions, which I think he'll be able to do. So that leaves him with 42 months to do. Now, out of that 42 months, he has about 12 months time served, i.e. again, the time he spent incarcerated without getting bail. That knocks him down to about 30 months. So right now, Puffy has about 30 months left to do. Now, the way the feds work also, after 24 months, which means 6 months to your release date, he'll be eligible to go to the halfway house. Once he's in the halfway house, he'll be eligible for home confinement, work release programs, and things like that within about 15 to 20 days of his entering into halfway house. So again, he'll be eligible to go to the halfway house 6 months to his release date, which will be after he spends another 24 months in jail calculating all of those other things. And once he is in the halfway house, he'll be eligible for home confinement within a week or two. With all of his resources and all of his money, within a week or two, he'll be on home confinement or work release. So you'll see P. Diddy out on the streets in about 24 months. Now, my opinion on his sentence and all that stuff like that, I'll save that for a later date. I did predict that he would probably get a sentence like this. Again, he is technically considered a first-time offender. In his more serious crimes, serious offenses, he was found not guilty of, which puts him on a scope and a scale way less than he could have been had he been convicted of like the RICO charges and things like that. That would have enhanced his sentences. Now, again, with him also being a first-time offender, he's going to be eligible for camp status very, very early on into his into the bid that he's got to do, into the time that he's got to do. So it's not going to be long before you see Diddy in a camp-like environment, i.e. like the one Martha Stewart served her time in. So he's not going to do much hard time. The hardest time that he is going to do is the time he's already done in MDC Brooklyn. Once he goes into the federal system and get assigned designation, he's not going to be seeing a maximum security prison, a medium high security prison. He's probably not even going to see technically like barbed wired fences or locked doors. It won't be long before he finds himself in a place like Fort Dix or even Fort Dix Camp or Otisville Camp. He's going to be in a camp-like environment very soon. And I predict that to happen within about 8 months of his sentence if he's not designated for a camp status initially. So he could find himself in a camp immediately. Like, he can immediately start serving his time in a camp. That could easily happen. But again, I predict that Diddy will see the streets in about 24 months. However I may feel about it, or however anybody else may feel about it, that's the reality of the situation, and there as it stands. I made a video prior to where I was quoted as saying that he got sentenced to 48 months, but I was mistaken when I heard the 4-year sentence. I didn't realize they had added the extra 2 months, which is probably works in his favor because it gives him more opportunity to receive more good time credit. That's for a whole nother video as well.
Yo, man, P. Diddy. Yeah, he got to sit this one out, man. He need to sit this one out. He need to sit every bit of his time out, because what he did outside of being a freaky ass dude was horrendous. It was crazy. Let's just say that. Threatening people, blowing up cars, forcing people to do things, drugging people. We got witnesses. I'm gonna show the witnesses. We got witnesses at the end of this video. It's crazy. It's insane. So the fact that he got off so easy is, that's why I put the R. Kelly thing at the beginning. R. Kelly got 25 years for doing the same thing P. Diddy did. And R. Kelly made way bigger hits than P. Diddy. Way bigger hits. Y'all still listen to Aaliyah to this day. Y'all still listen to R. Kelly to this day. Everybody talking about, I ain't stopped listening to R. Kelly. Ain't nobody playing no damn Notorious Big. Ain't nobody playing no damn Faith Evans. Ain't nobody playing no Little Kim. Ain't nobody playing no damn 112. Y'all not listening to that? This man got 4 years. And R. Kelly gave us 50 years worth of hits. R. Kelly made a song for Michael Jackson. And he got 25 years. P. Diddy got 4. Y'all think about that.
So hopefully this information was...
Well, I'm outside the federal court building here in New York City, where P. Diddy has just been sentenced to...
R. Kelly, besides the sex tape, R. Kelly he don't have no abuse charges. No, he didn't do half the stuff. There was no RICO. There was nothing. P. Diddy got 4 years. R. Kelly is a predator. Okay? But, man, y'all got to think about it. Just compare the two.
50 months in prison. So that's 4 years and 2 months in prison. He'll also have to serve 5 years of supervised release.
Voicemail, press 2.
Hey there. I'm calling because I was just seeing your live right now, and I thought that you might like my opinion. When it comes to the whole Diddy thing, in my opinion, it's all a part of the distraction that the powers that be utilize. It's still just to tear down another black man or the black community. because at the end of the day, it's all manipulation. And being a part of the wheelhouse, just being trapped in the maze like a rat, their objective is to continuously tear down the Black community because of our natural born God-given strength and who we are as a people. And when we invest all of our time and this is all just my opinion now, but when we invest our time in this rat trap, they are siphoning all of our energy, our spiritual energy, our mental energy, our physical energy, even sometimes. And that just only further perpetuates our downward spiral into doom. Because for us as a community, being the only culture that is, really downtrodden, nonstop, foot on your neck, 24/7 and as a Black man especially, as I do, the everyday, slights that we have to deal with, like really no other, individuals. Because even upon, other cultures migrating to the America or to America, they were pressured or forced, to assimilate, to tear us down. Otherwise, with the threat and the fear of, if you don't, put your foot on their necks, like we're telling you to, then we're going to put our foot on your neck, just like we do theirs, which is how the Asians treat Blacks so terribly, and the Mexicans, and, the Indians, and even the Africans. But of course, when you ask these other cultures, when they come from their land, like what kind of movies and TV shows, do you guys see about, how do they depict the Black person in your country? And in Africa, for instance, the reason why Africans hate African Americans so much and they're such a disgust is because all they're shown through their propaganda is that Black men are drug dealers, Black women are prostitutes. And it's just like, if you remember, I don't know if you remember way back in the day at like 2-3 in the morning when they used to show those African commercials with that song, Ava Marie song playing in the background with the starving African children with the flies flying all over them and the big bloated pregnant looking stomach. You remember those commercials?
Yeah, I will remember you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And that really had me growing up my whole life, really thinking like that's really how all of Africa was. And even when we in our movies, Rwanda, that one Rwanda movie, which was just, even to this day I cry if I just don't even watch it anymore because it's so horrendous. Or Blood Diamond, with what's his name? Any movies that they do show, it's not showing the people's truest actual identity. They're taking, it's kind of like if you were being in America, if you go to any of the baddest places in America and you only show those places, then everyone's going to think that that's all there is. But going back to the Diddy thing, if you look back, I hope I'm not getting off track or anything, but if you look at the Diddy thing and you connect the correlating dots and you see and you find the pattern, before him, R. Kelly, as you just said, as you stated, before that it was Bill Cosby, and before that it was Kaepernick or something. If you just go down the line, it's always just the Black community. Why? Because the powers that be that really run the country, because we all know that the president and the presidents of the other countries, they're not the ones who actually rule. It's those ones that it's the original bloodlines. The bloodlines that they can track all the way back to, they can way back. And if those bloodlines, like I don't even want to say any names, but we all know those bloodlines, the Roth ones and the Rocca ones, and we know those bloodlines. And if they can, for considering the fact that they can track those bitches back to the blank hundreds of like thousands, that's that hundreds, and that it's all a part of the manipulation and the scheme. Because at the end of the day, their goal is to keep our soul in this recycling trap.
I agree with you, because listen to this. I just posted a video today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was a woman was talking about parties at Jack Nicholson's house. The Playboy Mansion was another hot spot. But those people, they're not prosecuted. They're not. Nobody's speaking out on them. The Me Too movement was shut down when it came to them. But when it comes to the black man, we have been targeted. Russell Simmons won't even come back to America because of this.
And wasn't Russell Simmons one of the ones who trained Diddy on how to do what he does? I mean, I could be incorrect on this, but I mean, you know, when you look into who taught Diddy what he knows, when Diddy was first coming up in the industry, who were his mentors? Just like how Diddy was Cassie's, who was the Diddy for Diddy?
Andre Harrell.
And then who's all, you know, Andre's, you know, clique. And you know, when you look into it and you really go further and further back, you see just how, you know, and then when you hear some of these artists that speak out, you know, I remember seeing back in the day when Sukiana, and I love that little ratchet hoe.
Oh my God. Did you see her video the other day when she went to Longhorn with her on her date? Oh man, you gotta see that. It's funny as shit. But anyway, continue.
And I can't stand Sexy Red, but I something about that ratchet scandalousness. She's the only one though, and I can only have one. That's it. But she had this old school video that came out back when she was still like a you know, like a gutter rat, like when she still had the plastic wigs and the, you know, that was just the, you know, no makeup and just, you know, busted still.
Yeah.
And she was crying, and she was crying, and behind her was there was like a fence behind her and grass, and she was just like really crying about selling her soul to the devil, and she didn't know what she was doing, and she didn't mean to, and blah 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 blah. But it's those kind of moments where artists come out and they actually accidentally tell the truth, and it's, you know, and oftentimes, you know, we're made to believe like they're just you know, they're making it up, or they hide it and they don't promote those videos, so that way it just gets forgotten. But, you know, one of my beliefs is that it's something that, you know, the people call them the devil, or, you know, I consider it as like just the dark entities. It's something that they do. A part of the manipulation scheme is, I'm going to give you truth, yes, but I'm also going to put lies within that truth, and then I'm going to flood you with so much falsities and truths that it becomes overwhelming. So then you just give up altogether because it's too much. And most individuals, especially now, do not have the mental wherewithal to sit there and decipher and process and, you know, and analyze and figure out what is the falsity, which part of this, you know, which part of this information is false, which part is true. Because just like the old school saying, there's their side, your side, and the truth. Same thing. There's the false, the truth, and then the in-between, which is just a collaboration of both. And when they, you know, by flooding the market, you know, with truth and with tons of falsities around it, it does take a lot to just mental strength to really process. And there are certain moments in my life that I really had those like, oh, wait a minute, what the fuck? And one of them was with something that Donald Trump had said, where he had said whatever, and I did not watch the video at first. I had only watched the Democratic side of them saying like, you know, this is what he said, like, you know, it was so dramatic. But then when I actually saw the video and what he actually said, I was like, nah, nigga, I'm so sorry. He said what he said, and everything that you're saying is really just an exaggeration of it. But if you just listen to the actual words, because I remember they were trying to say like he's going mental too, just like Joe Biden, and because he's stammering and he's bouncing around different topics and he's not making any sense. But if you actually listen with an academic mind, and you're, you know, not just listening for the got you moments or for the, you know, whatever other moments.
Yeah, I got you.
He actually said everything, that he answered all the questions. It was just, and yes, they were combined, but he did answer all of the questions. You just didn't like what he said and how he said it. But no, he said what he said. And that's when I realized, that's when I had the moment of, oh shit, the Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans. In fact, when you look into AIPAC, and what AIPAC, mahogany, shit, what, there's a word when letters stand for something, like, so AIPAC, there's a term for that. And when you actually look at what it means, it's something for Israel. And most folks don't know that. And, when they want to argue, why are we following behind Israel? And how come if you say anything against Israel, then everything gets shut down and blah, blah, blah. And things get, demonetized and blah, 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 other shit. Well, if you just look into who AIPAC is, and then who has AIPAC in their pocket, just as many Democrats have AIPAC funding them as the Republicans. So when Kamala Harris, originally came out arguing, saying that she's for green energy, I believe it was. And then all of a sudden during the campaign for president, all of a sudden she switched up and said, no, we need oil. Okay, well, what would make her have that switch all of a sudden? Because, bitch, last time I checked, people don't just go around just flip-flopping like that. So what is causing, what's going on there? And, I'm a part of what I look, it's hard to have friends because a lot of people do not like truth. And that's one of my issues in life, is the reason why I because I'm solid, and sometimes I think it's a shortcoming to be such a solid ass person, because truth is like garlic, or to a vampire. And I'm realizing right now in life, being 32, I'm really realizing that when you tell truth, that's pretty much when I'm accidentally making you see reality. And it's kind of like breaking the unspoken rule of like, hey, I'm living my false life. I'm living I'm living in my own la la land. So please do not come around and purposefully or accidentally force me to live in reality too, because I don't want to live in reality. And then that's where all of that spitefulness and evilness and all of, you were so cool, but all of a sudden they're just a fucking demon. And it's like, yo, what the fuck? I thought we were cool. And it's like, yeah, we were, until you forced me to see reality, even when it's accidental by just.
That's how this whole situation came about. It's because, again, we're now seeing the truth of who P. Diddy is. Now, he may be a violent person, but initially this came about with him just being overly sexual. And all of the stuff coming out is pretty much him being violent over the things that he was doing sexually being put out in the public, and people manipulating what he was actually doing. Now, rappers have been saying for years that don't go to a Diddy party. Don't go to a Diddy party.
But they still went, and they still had their photos taken, and they were still a part of the menage a trois and shit. And it's when you go even deeper into that, because you are correct, but when you go even further into that rabbit hole and you just ask these logical questions and you find the correlating dots, it's still a part of the distraction once again, because it only comes to light only when they need a distraction. Hey, look over here. Because while this whole Diddy thing has been going on, what has the government been doing? They passed the bill. They passed the bill to give the government the right to suspend your online digital currency. They passed the bill for to allow digital currency, so that cryptocurrency shit. Soon that will soon they're fading out the dollar bill, and soon in the future, probably by the time our kids or grandkids, there will be no more paper dollars. It'll all be digital. And but right now, in the beginning, for them to pass these bills, and they sneak it in within other bills. It's not a bill just on digital currency, but it's about something for, like, let's say the environment. I don't know, but it's on something completely different. But then they slip in the digital currency, and so then when it gets passed, it's now law. And it's I've learned, anytime someone is saying, "Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, go look over there, go look over there," I've learned to start turning around and look behind me now. Because, okay, you're jumping around like a clown over there, or you want me to look at this clown that's jumping around, which is just whatever current distraction there is. so that way I'm not looking behind me of what you are really doing with that person sneaking up behind me. And I don't know, I remember back in high school, one time someone tried to, they tried to do the whole thing where like someone came up behind me and like got on all fours so that way the person in front could push me and I would fall backwards and like fall straight on my back. And luckily I was able to, it didn't happen because I caught onto it immediately. But same thing, like it's just so that way they can put something behind you to block you. So that way when the thing in front of you does finally, come at you and you try to run away, you can't run away and you fall and you falter. And then bam, they got you.
So the news today, the big news today and yesterday was the P-Diddy trial, which overshadowed our whole government shutting down over certain situations. And I'm telling y'all, that's some real stuff. And the hundreds of thousands of jobs that will be lost because of this shutdown. The people who are being laid off, the people who are
permanently. Yeah, it's permanent layoff. Yeah. Like I think they called it furlough or something like that.
Furlough, yeah. Well, no, furlough is not permanent. There's actual layoffs that's permanent.
Yeah, yes.
Those people, those people can't come back and get their job. They can't come back and get their jobs. They have to reapply.
Yeah.
For something
else.
And
to think that you would fire someone that has 10, 15, 20 years experience working this same job to hire someone, for it's their first year just to pay them less. And then if you think even further back to the distractions, there was all the stuff that Trump was doing with the whole Biden thing and just him going after him. And just, if you just look at every big news, whatever that's going on, and then you look back and see what is the government really doing behind the scenes. I mean, think about how many Hispanics have been, what is it when they send you back to your country?
Deported.
Yeah. Think about how many, and even Americans that are Hispanic being deported.
Oh, they are. It's an active attack on black people in Chicago, in Washington D.C., in Seattle. There are active. In Miami, I got another story that I want to talk about where they're actively people who are against, who are Democrats by party, who they vote for or who they register to vote for, are being attacked locally just because of their voter registration, because who they are fighting for within their communities are being attacked by the Republican Party of their, and they're using other, like they're using other. I'm gonna get to that because that's a whole nother story. I've been working with somebody behind the scenes on a story that's gonna blow some people's minds, because really the Republicans are attacking this woman based on her Democratic stance. And I'm not saying it's good or bad or whatever, but it's bad. But the thing is, we all have to work together as Americans, and some people have to fight for the people, regardless of your political affiliation. You have to fight for the people. We are going to lose our ways based. This is like I can only attribute it to Bloods and Crips. It's detrimental to the society of black men. Is Bloods and Crips. This is what Democrats and Republicans is. They're fighting against each other. It's a flag. We label us with these colors. We label us with these words: liberal, conservative, far left, far right. And at the end of the day, we're humans. We're black people. We're white people. We work together in schools. We work together in cafeterias. We work together in trash. I'm just using trash men. There's black and white people that stand together. You may be Republican, you may be Democrat, but you draw a line somewhere because of your political status, and they are it's really hurting our community because we're not speaking to each other about the real situations because we're thinking, oh, you're trying to fund illegal immigrants or you're trying to do none of that
It's
shit matters.
isolation. It's isolation. A good manipulator knows to isolate and attack. Just like when you go hunting, you don't attack a herd. You isolate that one that you see as the weak link, and then you go after that one. And I do agree with you, but when it comes to the coloring of race, one thing that logically speaking, we cannot go to the country named black, nor can we go to the country named white. And when we look into history, there's no such thing as white. There's no such thing as black. And all of the different quote unquote white countries that were eventually allowed to become quote unquote white, it took time. And the Irish, I believe, were the very last ones, because the Irish were the last ones to migrate, I believe, and they were with the Negroes. And there's no country called black. So therefore, it's still just a part of the manipulation. And when we keep pulling, it's kind of like a lens when you zoom in, but when you zoom out and you look at the macro, it constantly reminds us to look at the manipulation on how they put us in boxes, so that way we see each other as individuals and not as a community. And when it comes to the parties that we choose, I heard this somewhere, I don't remember where, but they said the greatest trick of them all was to make us believe that there's a such thing as choice.
Yeah.
Because who determined that you can only be a Republican or a Democrat or the in between one?
That's a fact.
And yet when you look at it, when you see that, then in the same breath you go to a store and there's 30 different flavors of chips and there's 20 different types of the same soup, and we have 50 different types of bread. Like, look at the bread aisle. Why is there so many different choices? And that's a part of the manipulation, to make us believe that we do actually have a choice, but in actuality, they are really they're the ones who are designing all of this. And the research that I've done, just personally, because my only goal is truth. Like that's just a part of my integrity and who I am. I'm not religious anymore, although I was raised in the church and I was raised Christian. I realized that religion is still a part of the manipulation.
Let me ask you this before we go. What is your solution to the Democratic, what they call it, the radical Democratic shutdown? Because I'm just going based on what's been put out. But your solution doesn't mean it's like what it is, but what do you think your solution will be?
That is a good question. Really good question. I believe that the solution is, and this solution goes across anything and every field when it comes to truth and righteousness and having that spirit of God or that Christ consciousness. There's a thing in the political world, like when you start from the beginning, like a grassroot, I think is what they call it. It's a grassroot organization, so it's like a small community, and it slowly grows by outreach and person to person and phone calls and kind of stuff like that. We have to adopt the same method as a community that the slaves used, that the elites use, just like the Illuminati or the secret organizations like the Masons. We have to utilize the same structure, meaning instead of all of this social media, the posting, the everything being public where everyone sees everything, it needs to be private. Mm-hmm. And I even want to say that to you, just as a black man doing the right thing. I warn you, saying, hey, I suggest that you create another YouTube channel without your face. Still do your lives and still do whatever, still use your voice even, but don't show your face. And when you sign up, have a different email that doesn't have your name or anything related to you. Use a different proxy or a VPN when you're posting and stuff, so that way you can stay completely private and no one can track you back. Because if you with what we're talking about right now, this is the very first time I've ever had this kind of conversation on something social like this. I mean, I don't even have social media. And being 32, like, I mean, it's because because when you know the truth and when you become a truth teller or a truth seeker, you then put a target on your back. And that is when all of a sudden, because gang stalking and this, it's real. Like the shit that the government does, like the black bagging and the van pulling up on your ass, like that shit is real. And if seeing with the amount of truth that we are speaking, I would never have this kind of this isn't, I mean, I would not where it's public like this. Now, if we were having a private Zoom and you were sending out, group emails and people were joining the Zoom for this kind of conversation, then that's safe. And, that would be okay. But something that's public like this, no, because once it goes out there in the public sphere, you can never take it back.
Yeah. I honestly agree with you, but because my life is, man, I've been everybody. They ain't told my address, my criminal record, man. There ain't nothing out there. People, so I done been there. So I understand what you're saying, and I get it. I do have other YouTube channels, but I haven't put a bunch of. Listen, the thing is, we have to. The only reason why I do this, I switched over to politics, is because I have a voice. 41-year-old PJ has a voice. When I was younger, I didn't really care, but now I have a voice, and I have to bring some truth to reasoning. And I don't want to be. I'm not finna be. I'm not finna be a radical. I'm not finna go all off the deep end about stuff. I just want to. I'll have logical conversations with people who have opposing views, not to argue with them, but to reason with them, to get some understanding. Because I don't have an argument bone in my body. But if I can hear the other side, that's what we don't hear. We watch CNN, MSNBC, the Fox News. We watch all the biased news, but we don't have conversations where those meet. And that's
meaningful, impactful conversations. Yes.
So that's what I'm.
And same thing with the news channels. When you look into that, something that caught my attention was how come if you pick 5 random states across the country and they're talking about the same story, how come each of them use the exact same word, like ostracized or something like that? There's no way that these 5, and then when you look further into it, there's like hundreds, and for them to all use the exact same word, that told me, okay, there's someone else, controlling this that we're unaware of. And then when you look into the parent companies, there's only like 4 or 5 parent companies that own all of the news channels in America. And Fox and CNN, they are owned by the same parent company, which means ultimately it's still all a part of the elites that still, control everything. And that's a part of the manipulation. And it's the scary part. Yeah.
They said every day, they say, watch the single mothers and the babies. I've been saying that over the past few days. Watch them say the single mothers and the babies. They're all hitting you with this. We got to protect the single mothers and the babies. I'm like, damn.
But then they don't do anything about it. Because if they were protecting the mothers and the babies, then they wouldn't be doing what they're doing with women's reproductive rights.
That's a fact.
I'm just very logical. Just make it make sense with all these conspiracy. Candace Owens, I love that bitch. Before, when she was working for that Charlie dude, she would say some outlandish stuff, but something told me in my heart she's being forced to bring these talking points. But once she went independent and she was completely on her own, that bitch ain't said nothing but facts.
I said that a week ago.
And it's like, and that's she. I first found her when during COVID, when she was she was an anti-vaxxer. But it's like, okay, what she is saying though makes sense, and that's why when it comes to conspiracy theories as a whole, I don't care what the conspiracy theory is, just does it logically make sense? Because if it is not logical, then okay, you sound crazy. But if it sounds logically, sound, and then you can verify because that's when I love her for that too. The bitch brings receipts for days. She will throw receipts on that ass like you a stripper.
Yeah,
and I'm like, amen.
I had listened to one of her interviews, or I don't know, I think it was an interview, and that really changed my mind about her. Regardless of what she says, like she says a lot of stuff, but if you think about it, I mean, she's a black person, so it don't matter who she married, none of that stuff matters. But when she speaks and you have to listen to her, sometimes you got to be like, if you're a reasonable person, you just got to be like, okay, that makes sense. You don't have to agree with everything, but you have to take your feelings out of the nonsense.
Out of the truth. Out of the truth of what she's saying.
Yeah, so.
But hey, that goes back into the... Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for calling. We're going to get to more of the show, but thank you for calling. You can call in whenever we do the call-ins. I appreciate you.
I'm in California. I don't even want to say that. Never mind. Because this is stuff up. So I'm like, I want to talk to you more, like just privately, because like I don't get to talk to anyone really about all of the stuff that I know. I just kind of stay to myself, because being in one of these cities that I'm in, where it's just it's a salad bowl of just opinions, and a lot of people like to shout opinions and not facts. And being a black man, you'd be the first that I'll get to have a logical, realistic conversation with. So if I can call this number back, then yes, I would like to really.
This is not my personal number. This is my YouTube channel number. But
can you see the number that I called from?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can.
Okay, then whenever you can, call the number back, because I would love to actually get to finally talk to another strong-headed black man in America that is on the same mind frame and frequency that I am on. So I would be honored to be able to actually have dialogue with you.
Send a text message to this number so I can receive text messages. So send a text message to this number so I can get that, and then I chop it up with you.
Well, thank you for doing you and being a strong, level-headed black man in America throughout all of the harms and trials that you are forced to go through. Just know that I see you, bro, and I appreciate you, and stay up.
Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you calling in, man.
You're welcome. Adios.
All right, thanks. Hey, we appreciate that call in, man. I tell you, man, we get the news first. Y'all get real conversations over here, man. That's what we about.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was just sentenced to more than 4 years in prison. The 55-year-old was
56 and 63 months, somewhere around there, maybe even upwards of 70 months. Now, if you wax him harder than that, one could argue it might be unreasonable. But if the judge just gives him a guideline sentence at the top of the guidelines, it's pretty much unappealable. Certainly the whole conviction is appealable, and the sentence will be, appealable, and they'll appeal this. But the judge would be protected if he's sentenced on the high end of the range. So, but regardless of what sentence he gets, if he's in custody, he gets the credit for every day that he's in custody. And so I think it's
a lot of this will be regurgitated information, so I'm gonna skip.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and I think the judge said coercion today as a basis for a sentence at least a dozen times. We think that is unconstitutional. We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
The judge clearly thought the sexual encounters weren't consensual.
Because he's biased.
Make of his remarks.
He's biased. If anyone, I'm happy to go. So we think that's just absolutely inconsistent with the jury's verdict. I mean, the jury's verdict was resoundingly clear. There was no sex trafficking. There was no racketeering. Everything was consensual. Everything was adult, which is why he was convicted only of the prostitution offense. What we feel happened today was that the judge acted as a 13th juror, one that we did not choose, and that he second-guessed the jury's verdict.
Well, at least the judge was open-minded. At least the judge was open-minded for both sides. He gave consideration Did you have a chance to talk to Sean Combs? Did you have a chance to talk to your client? Can you tell us about the conversation after the sentence?
How was he?
How's your client?
How would this impact sex workers?
But he's okay. Push back a little. But he's okay.
Come on, man.
Stop pushing people, y'all.
Y'all making it a circus now, bro.
Space out. He does feel justice was served, though. He said he takes accountability, and I felt like Diddy definitely took accountability for everything, sir. And I would like to just let you know that everything was not consensual, sir. Please don't say that. It was not consensual. Even Diddy admitted
This is the defense team, man. Let's answer the question.
Yes, but he did allegedly.
All right, Queen. All right, Queen. All right.
Mark, can you talk to us about talking to Sean after
Clearly,
this?
all talking about domestic violence.
I'm not. Obviously, you spoke to Sean. I'm not going to talk about what Sean and we discussed. It's obviously it's a privilege.
We all feel comfortable bringing.
And tell us what location are you going to recommend?
No matter which community it impacts.
What are the next steps?
Why weren't the sex workers on trial today?
Hey,
hold on, bro. Where were the escorts? Stop, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Here's the question I heard: what's next?
Why weren't the escorts speaking?
We're going to try and find the right facility for Mr. Combs. We're going to ask the judge to recommend that. We are very serious about pursuing an appeal. So we have a number of things all going on at the same time. I think that's all for me.
And you got about 14 days to start doing that?
If my colleagues want to continue to ask questions.
That in motion.
Thank you, sir.
14 days to put that in motion.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. The people who are outside, these are just regular YouTubers, regular people who are trying to get one in for their social media channels. Like the media has changed from the big media to now we have to look towards small creators as myself. And when you have the opportunity to go there, you have to have some decorum on what you are asking these people, because it seemed like whoever that lady was just rambling off at the mouth and wanted to, I don't know what she wanted to get out of them, but that's P. Diddy's defense team. You can't convince them anything other than, and the guy up front with the purple tie, he wasn't going to say shit. He just let it go. The other guy in the back, he wanted to say something, but you gotta shut the fuck up sometime. I just want to have to, guys, shut up. Like ask logical questions, and you can't beat them down, because if you want to get the answers, you have to think logically. Like, I wish I could be there. I wouldn't be there, but if I could, shout out to my boy Jamil Peterson, because I wish he was there, because that he has given the best take on all of this stuff. Even though it's comedy, when he was down there at the courthouse and talking to P. Diddy and the P. Diddy sons, he's actually stopped them, talked to them. They talked to him. He gave them a breath of fresh air from the bull crap that you see from these random ass people asking questions. Man, if y'all don't know who, man, I gotta show him. I'm gonna show him, or y'all, I don't know. Let me show him, cause that's my guy, man. And I just hate to see people who just, you're a YouTuber, but you out there asking dumbass questions and trying to force somebody to answer. It's just stupid. Oh shit! What the hell? This is his YouTube channel. Y'all gotta watch him, because let me see when did he go live? He went live 55 minutes ago. He went live 55 minutes ago. We're gonna watch some of that.
Mo. Plus I got a motto, I'm Mo. Salute. Diddy didn't tell. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Suge Knight is saying Diddy got special treatment, and he said, why didn't one of Diddy's baby moms come to his sentencing? You know what I'm saying? Put a 1 in the chat if that's a good point. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think Suge Knight is just hating, because he didn't get to play a video of things he did before he got sentenced. You know, I had to think about that too. You know Suge Knight can't stand Diddy Glover, pure survival. Suge Knight came to the motherfucking East Coast and got on stage and said, if any artist want to stay an artist and don't want to have to worry about Diddy Glover all in the videos dancing, come to Death Row. So, you know what I mean? I feel like Suge Knight is happy that Diddy Glover is locked up, to be honest. And I feel like Suge Knight wanted Diddy to get more than 4 years. He wanted Diddy Glover to get more than 4 years. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think Suge Knight wanted Diddy to get more than 4 years. Because y'all know Suge Knight got a whole bunch of time, what, like 28 years? So he feel like Diddy got off sweet. Now I'm gonna give everybody a chance, as long as y'all smash that like button. How many of y'all feel like, put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that Diddy got a good deal. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that the judge cooked Diddy. 1 in the chat if y'all think he got a good deal. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that Diddy got cooked.
Or put a 2 in the
Because
chat.
Suge Knight is saying that Diddy got a good ass deal, and he came for Cassie. Suge Knight said he don't really feel bad for Cassie because Cassie was getting her cheeks clapped by the help. This is what Suge Knight is saying. He like, I don't feel bad for Cassie. You went behind Diddy Glover's back and was getting your cheeks clapped by the help. Pure survival. Who do y'all think the help is that Suge Knight talking about? Put it.
Pure survival. Man, shout out to my boy, Jamil Peterson, man. This is the funniest comedian in 2025, man. That's my dog, man. What's good?
This is a very bad day. There is a human being now in custody, 50 months. Diddy was just sharing. Based upon conduct that a jury heard, the jury resolved, and the jury rejected.
We are planning to appeal. We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and
So let's get to, we're going to get to the victims now.
The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words. It goes beyond just physical harm caused by and during the assault. It's a pain that reaches into your very core of who you are and leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal. Some of the hardest parts of this pain are the shame and the guilt I have experienced that plays a negative part in my day-to-day ability to function properly. Being blamed, questioned, and threatened has often made me feel worthless, isolated, and sometimes responsible for what happened to me. My family issues made the pain even worse. I was already going through a divorce at the time of the assault and did not get the support that I needed. I was also faced with disbelief and judgment This has put a strain on my selection of men and relationships. Where many relationships became aggressive and abusive, which has made me feel even more alone in my struggles. I go through spells of being distant and withdrawn that it's sometimes so hard to leave my house. The trauma of the assault has taken a toll on my mental health. I've had PTSD, depression, and anxiety. I'm emotionally scarred. It has been hard for me to trust others, to form healthy relationships.
My bones will never be the same. My heart will never be the same. My soul will never be the same, but I'm still sitting here. So I'll still continue to try to do what I can do. To be a voice for my friends that are no longer here and for the kids who don't have a voice right now while everybody is too busy running towards the adults. Running to comfort grown-ass men that you know are wrong. Everybody, no, not that black man. No, that can't be true. No, he can't be having satanic rituals. No, there's no way. Yeah, there is. And now you see. So now what you gonna do about it? Still, here we are. With everybody, I want evidence, I want evidence. You got it. Now what you gonna do?
Connected with Diddy, and how old were you when you met him?
In the 2000, I was basically 10, 11 is when I lost my virginity. I met him 6th grade that summer or whatever, and I remember SZA. Her name is Solange Rowe. I don't know. She changed her name, Solange Rose. She went to Weld Middle School in Garland, Texas. She came to that school after the 9/11 happened. And I remember her getting bullied a lot because she used to wear the black turbans on her head. And so I became her friend. And I remember a white boy in the class was like, your people did it. I remember standing up for her saying, my people didn't do nothing. We didn't blow up no building.
Connected with Diddy, and how old were
you? Back then, I got in trouble because I was molested, but her dad was a producer. And I used to write music back then. I got in trouble because I was molested, and the things that I wrote, I got in trouble for it. And I remember getting beat or whatever for the book. And I used to write composition books. I gave it to her, and she told me her dad was a producer, and I was like, well, ask them, am I gonna get some Grammys for this? Like, I wanted to be a music artist. I wanted to do music. And she told me that she was going to get 13 Grammys for this stuff. But her dad made her bring back the book. He brought her and made her hand the book back to me. And she didn't want to give it back to me. But she ended up coming back, and I told her that she can have it or whatever. And, but in the midst of doing that, he introduced me to the ghostwriters. The ghostwriter was a Jewish guy with a pointy nose. And I don't know how to say his name, Skalashki. And I used to write music back then. I remember Pierre Harvey coming by because then I started writing music for P-Diddy. And P-Diddy liked the music, but Pierre Harvey was coming by, and at first he was nice and he was paying me too. But I remember one time he came in, like, he got snatched the book out of my hand, and he didn't pay me my money. And then he came back another time, and he had a big phone. And like back then the cell phone was like real big and thick. He had a big thick ass cell phone, and he was telling me that P. Diddy wanted to meet me or whatever. He wanted me to come to his flavor camp for 48 hours. So he told me to ask my grandmother, could I go? I asked my grandmother, she said no. And at the time, my mother was on drugs. And I was all like, I was mad at her because I'm like, I want to be famous. I want to be rich or whatever. I want to be famous. He gonna make me a singer. And we're gonna be rich. He's saying that I got potential. Remember, like a shirt, and I had Bobos in my head, and he was like, eat the candy. And some said don't eat the candy, but then he was like being real persistent. Eat the candy, try it. These are new jelly beans. We just invented these with jelly beans. And when I ate the jelly bean, I was like, this is nasty. And I was spitting it out. And as I spit it out, I was like, I want to get out the car. And he slammed the door, and then he got in the car. And I remember being out of there. I remember him like, eat the candy, eat the jelly beans. I think I had on pink that day. Pink, like some pink sweats, and I remember them putting me on the jet and them saying, damn, this little heavy. I remember him being like, wake up. I remember waking up. I remember my ear popping, and I remember my stomach dropping on the airplane. And I got in like a shirt, and I had, but then I remember being in that room with him, and he was all like being extra touchy with me. And I was like, yeah, I started feeling like he was a creep, but I was still like going along with it. And he was like, what kind of you like? Like, he was asking me about me being molested, and I was honest with him, and I told him about stuff, cause he was like, the stuff that I was writing, I had to be like, they was asking me, have I ever been molested? Have I ever had sex? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, knowing I was a virgin. I've been molested, but I never been penetrated. Mm-hmm. He asked me what kind of cocks I like, and I was like, real big cocks. I like big cocks, real big cocks. And he sent Roger Bonds to go buy a pink dildo. And I remember waking up, looking in the mirror, and then the mirror, and I see P-Diddy behind me. And I know when I was in the room, he took my virginity on that bed. And I remember screaming and hurting, but I had to take that. I had to take it. But then after that, I remember I just woke up again. I'm in the bathroom, bent over the sink, and I'm yelling, but I guess I'm not making noise. I don't know. But I'm yelling, it hurt. Please stop. I'm weak. I can't move. And he's giving me or whatever. He turned me around, kissed me in my mouth, and was like, I'm not going to hurt you. But he was hurting me. And he turned me back over. And when he stuck it in my, he told me pinch his nipples and all type of crazy shit. He kissed me in my mouth. And he turned me back over, and I passed out again when he stuck it in my ankle. And then I was relieved. And then I felt the pain again. And when I woke up, it was Pierre Harvey behind me. And he stuck it in my face. And I remember looking and yelling, no, stop. And the Jewish guy was behind Pierre, like on the side. It was like in his bathroom at that studio. It was like a restroom stall in there. I remember, and then after he finished, I remember P-Diddy I was asking the Jewish guy to help me, because I know he just had a baby, and I was looking at him for help. And he was all like, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. And he was like, if you don't fuck her, I'm going to fuck you. So the dude got behind me, and his stuff was soft.
I'm going to turn the comments off for a second, so I could get this out. And already I am slightly sweating. Hold on. Because I just want to get this out quickly because I got a lot to do. So I'm just going to turn the comments off, and I'll turn it back on, and we'll be live again. It's just We gotta do this fast. So hold on. I just want. In 2020, I went viral, and we lost our home. We lost our animals. We lost everything. I am a dance teacher. I was working as a choreographer, an after-school teacher, a volunteer for doing hair at foster care agencies for free. I was starting to turn around and try to feed the homeless and go back to where I come from, packing backpacks and things for children. I don't need everybody to love me. I don't need everybody to like me. To each its own, right? I have been screaming underwater since I was 3 months old. I went into foster care at 13, 14. We tried to do a case against Riverside County Child Protective Services because Riverside County, do you hear me? Riverside County Child Protective Services was involved in my trafficking. Can y'all still hear me? Can you just? Cool. Thank you. So, Facebook, you good? Can y'all hear me? Hi. Yes, you hi. Can you hear me? Cool. Thank you. I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested. And I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P-Diddy. Alright? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this bullshit. I decided to stop for a second and do some projects with projects all around because we just said, you know what? This is our life. It's not changing. We stopped somewhere and I've been hiding. My mom and I have been hiding. We've had our head down. We've tried to back up. We've tried to tell you everything that we can, and now we have people messaging us, investigators, people that want to talk now, when now it's because it's trending. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual orgies. Get it straight. It wasn't just adults in these parties. The adults were responsible for the child sex slaves that were in the party. And one of those children were me. Now, those who are trying to come at us now, talking like, oh, well, now the Diddy's out, now that you can talk. For why? Because we tried to have a case with Child Protective Services. We gave them 8 months worth of evidence. 8 months worth of evidence. That didn't even do a crumb. They took that case and they hid it. If you are a survivor and if you are a real victim, be careful. Because these hotline numbers that they're putting out, I don't trust them. I wouldn't do it.
They take your information to see what you have.
They're taking inventory.
And then they shut it down. Mm-hmm. They're taking inventory. So don't trust them. Don't trust the feds. Don't trust the judges. Fuck all y'all. You're all guilty. You're all corrupt. Any attorney that's taking money to defend Diddy, you're nasty and vile.
That's blood money.
That's blood money.
That's all blood money. You do know that, right? Whether you take money from him to shut up, whether you take money from him for period, that's blood money. I don't want anybody's money. Not even Lassane. And let me make something very clear. Even though it runs in my family, you can't fake your death. That shit is expensive. We don't have that money. We don't have the military involvement. We are not working with white hats. We are working with everyday people who can come out and do something when they can, who can come out and say, I can be security when I can, who can come and cover us when they can. But that's not all the time. Right now, we by ourselves. We can call on some angels. Yes. These are everyday people. They're not white hats. Get it straight. There's no witness protection program because how well is the Secret Service doing protecting your former president? They not even doing their damn job. Even the photographer can get the shot, and including the people that can get the shot. Let's be real. Don't do the Lassane bullshit. Don't do that either. You want to know why? Because that all circles back to the military. That all circles back to fake arrest. That all circles back to lies. And not everybody can fake their death. Even though some of y'all are sitting pretty, trying to make the excuse of, oh, well, they were so evil, I was just trying to be undercover. No, bullshit. My face is out there. You little punk. My face is out there. You pussy.
No, and I see a lot of you people out there like, oh, they faked their death and they're going to come back.
No.
That's bullshit.
No.
Joan Rivers, you were up there partying with Michelle Manshell. Lassane, you were doing some dirty, vile shit. All of you. So any of these people that they're going to try to revive and prop up, bullshit.
No.
Bullshit.
You see all the people running? They're ducking and hiding because everybody knows that there was children there. But we're still not talking about the kids yet. When are we going to talk about the kids? Everybody's demanding something from the victims. Why aren't you demanding it from the news? You know he's about to turn into another Epstein, and then the list follows, and it circles back into a web. So why isn't anybody demanding any information on the kids? Huh?
Where'd that supply chain come from?
Do you think that thousands of bottles worth of baby oil was for thousands of who? $65,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza was for who? Trafficking over the border was for who? Child Protective Services is your supplier. Is anybody going to talk about that? The immigrants that are coming across the border, that all those kids that they were just scooping up out of boats and out of the water, they're now coming in and they're throwing them right into the system. Aurora, Colorado, Springfield, Ohio. Where do you think all those kids are going? This ain't about an election anymore. Y'all know that, right? The election is canceled. Because everybody that you love, you don't live in the world you think you do. Everybody that you think is not guilty is about to show you who they really are. I've been screaming for years. So now, if you see me over here trying to live a normal life and tying up loose ends as justice, mind your fucking business. Or don't. Or don't. We were followed the night that Diddy was arrested. I left a place that I was in, minding my own business, finally trying to stop for a second and get my life back. And you know what? I'm not even upset about that. I'm upset about the fact that I have to walk back into this place and I have to tell you all goodbye. So if you know who I am and you know me as Justice, you know I'm about to walk into this building and tell you I gotta go. Nobody ever thinks about the victims. Nobody. The victims' lives get turned around when the predators' lives want to just get announced. You slap them on the wrist and you bring up every source of trauma for the victim. But nobody wants to stop and think about that. We're not talking about the victims that are still going through the shit right now with other people who are running to cover their ass and deleting their social medias. Pink, Megan Fox, Tyra Banks, Steve Harvey. Why you running? You know what a part of me feels like? You know what? Good, run. Because then you get to see how it feels to have to jump and throw everything that you give a damn about away for 2 seconds. Get a moment of peace for not a damn moment. Not a moment of peace. You take it and you run with it because you're happy about the peace. But then you see how it feels when they get shaky. You see how it feels when the world is a little quiet, like, oh, my superstar, my idol. What about the victims? Our PTSD lives on every damn day that they did what they did. But it's only talked about when it's trending. We got legal evidence to drop. I just don't know what's the point. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party. I was one of the party favors. But I told you, nobody tells on Diddy. Maria Z, I did that interview in 2021. 7 months ago. We made sure, I already knew, that Diddy and Oprah is about to get arrested. I already knew that 7-8 months ago. We went and made sure there were sworn documents. We have them. When we went to Colorado for the A to Z event, we had a lot of legal evidence that we made sure we already had because we knew a list of people were about to get got. You can't run for that long. I'm just shocked we're finally seeing the day. So thank you so much for listening. We got to go and tie up some things, and then we'll be back. But we got to move because we don't want to be sitting ducks. Not that that does anything. It just disturbs our peace one more time, and it's bullshit. I'm not the only one. There are too many victims. Victims that you don't even know their name. Victims that you'll never hear their laugh. Victims that you'll never know who the hell they were because everybody was so busy bouncing to their music. Didn't I tell you? Music is a diary. Are you now figuring that out? If you're listening, it's one thing when you hear it and you feel it. When you feel it, you can actually hear it. When you hear it, you can actually feel it. Do you understand that their music is their diary? All these rappers, they're telling you what they did. The music, it's telling you what they did. The comedy and the art is a reflection of life. I got a reflection of life for you. And not that who to give it to, I don't know. And if you're trying to come towards me right now thinking that, hey, maybe she'll testify against what?
I don't trust none of y'all.
Testify against who? Testify against the same corrupt justice system that's not doing a damn thing for anybody?
Let's be clear. You federal prosecutors, you have video surveillance from Diddy's house from 2008. Look in that 2008, 2010 span, you'll find her video there. You want to send it? Send it over? She'll say, yeah, that's me. Then you can do what you can do, but otherwise we're not messing with you. I don't trust none of y'all. I see what you did to Trump. A lot.
I see what you do to everybody. Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Ask me if you've ever gotten a fair trial for any damn thing. Is there justice for you? No. Ask me why I'm going by justice right now. Because I understand that. I get it. My bones will never be the same. My heart will never be the same. My soul will never be the same, but I'm still sitting here. So I'll still continue to try to do what I can do. To be a voice for my friends that are no longer here and for the kids who don't have a voice right now while everybody is too busy running towards the adults.
I missed the call because I was, daddy duties call, but let's get back to it. Call in, call back.
Running to comfort
I'm back now.
grown-ass men that you know are wrong. Everybody now, not that black man. No, that can't be true. No, he can't be having satanic rituals. No, there's no way. Yeah, there is. And now you see. So now what you gonna do about it? Still, here we are. With everybody, I want evidence, I want evidence. You got it. Now what you gonna do?
What it do? What it do?
What's up? What's going on, PJ and the PJ Everyday People?
We lit up in this thing, ain't we?
We are lit up in this thing. I see you had to go do daddy duties and you missed my call, but that's cool.
I know.
I'm not going to be long. Anyway, y'all, this is Joker TV. Your mod down there in the chat. But what I wanted to talk about Diddy, and your question, you said, what, did he get a fair sentencing? In my opinion, not at all, because he was never charged for his true crimes, the crimes that are so despicable that nobody really wants to talk about. But I'm so thankful that you did bring that video that you're playing now with that young lady who said that, you know, what all was done to her when she was 11 years old and up, because Justin Bieber was also allegedly done real bad. Usher was done real bad, and countless other kids. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but Justin Bieber has a song called Yummy. Girl, you got that yummy, yummy, yummy? I would advise you all to go and look at that video again and really pay attention to what you're seeing. You're actually seeing a Diddy party. And what made me cry, and I cannot even listen to that song or watch that video, is when he showed those kids on a table. Allegedly, there are small kids from all over the world that are at those parties, and they have VIP rooms, and elite people are able to go in their room and pick which children or kid they want. That's the stuff that Diddy should be in jail for, not this Cassie mess. Because Cassie was just like the everyday average gold digger, in my opinion. I do not condone violence. I do not condone any type of violence, man on woman, woman on man. But I do know there are a lot of women to this day and from way back in time who will do and accept things for money. Because I do believe that she could have possibly gotten out of that situation, but did the benefits outweigh, you know? She liked the benefits, in my opinion, so she kind of stayed. She probably could have bounced up out of there. She could have figured it out. She could have told somebody. So, you know, I'm not tripping on her. I'm tripping on those innocent kids.
I never seen that video. You know, I heard the song 1,000 times, but I've never seen the video.
I'm going to send it to you, PJ. You got to see the video, because when you see it, okay, the first thing you're going to notice is there's going to be some kids. They're going to be singing and playing instruments on a stage. They're performing, and you're going to see, like, the adults just sitting at a table with food on their plate. And also, when you watch the video, watch the different foods that's on the plate. Those foods are representative of things that happen to them children, happen to Justin Bieber too. But when you first see it, I want you to notice how those kids have their clothes on. And there's a particular girl. She's going to have a red dress on, a pretty red dress. But at the very end of the video, she comes up missing. She's back there in that room with some people. And on the last scene of that video, you're going to see her dress laying over the back of a chair. That whole video is a telltale video. And I don't understand for the life of me. Yeah, it's deep. That Diddy stuff is deep. It's deeper than a lot of people are aware of. And so, therefore, I don't feel he was fairly sentenced. That man should have been hung for the things he's done to children, innocent children. So yeah, that's the part. That's all I had to say is no.
No, we ain't done. Don't. No, everybody, y'all speak to Joker. Everybody, put y'all grievances for Joker TV, because when she be blocking y'all, because y'all be cussing in the chat, this is the person.
I did. They don't like what I said. I don't have an opinion. What?
No, but no. Thank you so much, and everybody, y'all salute her. Put shout out to Joker TV in the chat, man, because for her hard work, man, and you know we really appreciate her over here at the Everyday PJ channel.
And what I ask them to do, please, for me, for PJ, for the channel, we love that you support the channel, that you guys come in every day. But if you could just please hit that like when you come in here. We're not doing that for ego. That's for all those 150,000 subscribers to start getting notifications, because YouTube want to know that y'all actually like what y'all watching. So just hit that like real quick. Do your little housekeeping. We love you.
We love you. Thank you so much.
All
Thank you so much.
I'm going back to the chat.
All right. So, man, shout out to my girl Joker TV, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, love is love, man. No matter where you get it from, man. Just appreciate everybody, man. Cause and then I want to say this about the Diddy situation. I knew it was deep, but again, we was raised at a time where we would see the worst of the worst, and then when we got older, we realized that it was wrong. And at the same time, a lot of us men, we have to take accountability for the things we did to women growing up, and we thought it was just like, oh, it's cool, I'm a player, I'm a this, I'm a that, and we ruined a lot of women growing up. We did. And I'm gonna say we because as a man, but I ain't saying me. I can only do so much. But one thing I do want to do is I want to say, prayers to all the victims. I know this may not be Diddy getting locked up may not be the healing you need. It may not be the closure you need because you still have to have you still may have to have some counseling. It'll never close for you. So any victims of sexual abuse, any victims of kidnapping, any victims of sex trafficking, any victims of, man, prayers out to all y'all. I know sometimes this may be hard for y'all to speak up, and matter of fact, I didn't just go talk to my daughter about this shit, but what I went to go do was I just went to go put reinforcement into my child as to be like, hey, you are my daughter. I'm your protector. I'm your first line of defense. I'm your first line of defense. I got sisters, my mom, girlfriends, all that shit. Everybody got a blanket over you. So I allow her to have these relationships with women to be in her life, to be like, because she can't always come tell her daddy everything. You know what I mean? But I'll be like, at the end of the day, I'm your first line of defense. So we gotta have that communication, because I don't want to see my daughter at no Diddy party. I don't want to see my daughter at making a video about how she was abused because nobody paid attention to her. But who's gonna pay attention to her is me. And to all my daughters, bro, I got 5. And guess what? I smacked 5 fires of everything out of man. Listen. When y'all have to, I'm gonna be asking for bail money. I'm gonna come to YouTube. I'm gonna be like, man, can y'all donate to my bail money? Because if a guy violates my kid, I will hit him so hard. His great granddaddy gonna feel it. He gonna be like, damn. He gonna tell his son to tell his son, you didn't mess with the wrong man. And that's on Shotgun Crip. Anyway, everyday people, man, I'm finna go to a cigar bar and enjoy my Saturday night. And I hope y'all do the same. We got Dallas Cowboys. Do Cowboys got football tomorrow? I don't even know. But we got NFL football tomorrow, so I'm going to get up. Oh, I got more videos for y'all. Man, go watch all my videos, man. Just go watch the woman who didn't take a shower but twice a week. Watch that video. It's a great video. Watch it, man. I still try to keep it lit for y'all every day. Like, man, come on. Support your boy. Support who supports you. Everyday people, man. We out this BITCH. I'm going to turn off my lights. I don't have my theme music going, but we're going to get this shit going, okay? Y'all have a good night. And don't let the bed bugs bite. Y'all wanna see what happened in my office? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. I got since y'all wanna see, there's a PlayStation and what that thing is called, the Oculus. I got this real cool little y'all gonna see. You see that comfortable ass couch over there? And yeah. So that's just so y'all can see. Yeah, but what's going on behind him? The greatest thing since the Emmett Till shirt. The Emmett Till shirt. Y'all know that? Y'all got one of those? Shout out to Emmett Till, man. You know what I'm saying? We lit and alive in this thing. Make sure y'all love your folks, love your kids. I'm out of here. Peace.